Hey YouTube, it's this guy 6 with another video update. So you have seen my Blood Angels, or the step 1. I'm going to probably do another video in a little bit that shows the fully painted one that I have. But anyways, different project. So what I have in front of me are some very interestingly built Chaos Marines. Obviously they have no legs because I don't have any legs anymore. If I had any legs, they wouldn't be built like this. So, if you look at them, they have a bunch of random ass shit. Most of them have power weapons from Grey Knight kits, which if my Nurgle Tau piss people off, because supposedly it's impossible, these are really going to piss people off. Anyways, so what these are, I heard a while back ago, I did a little bit of research into it, and apparently Space Marines have, I don't really want to say a detachment, but some kind of a unit. Oh, that looks like ass. Some kind of a unit or people that I don't know, after they like obliterate everything on the battlefield, as they're continuing their march, they have like, I would assume they're like servitor type units that go through the battlefield and finish off anything that's not quite dead, and pick the battlefield clean of any Imperial equipment, weapons and munitions, as well as chaos, so that they can take it, cleanse it, and destroy it, or whatever it is that they do. So I figured obviously Chaos Marines are a descendant of Space Marines, and my Chaos chapter are technically not Chaos, they're more Renegades. I can get into the whole story of that later on when I actually feel like it and writing it down and blah 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 blah. So I decided that my Chaos Marines were going to have a unit like this. And this is strictly for display. You know, I'm going to do some different painting techniques on them, like I did on my Blood Angel, that I have done, and what I'm going to do on the other guys, and which you will see in another video. So these guys might just be a little squad that I'll throw out there for painting competitions or whatever. Definitely for a display board piece. Stuff like that. Just kind of, I wanted to have fun with them and not really worry about, oh, that's not legal, oh god, I can't do this, oh geez. So anyways, the idea between these guys, for those of you that know Grey Knights really well, grab this guy. And again, guys, I'm using a cell phone, so it's going to be really, really hard. He has a oh, that's a great sword. Grey Knight great sword, and the Interceptor backpack with the vents cut off. So my reasoning for the backpack is I figured that these things are going to move really slow. What I'm going to do instead of the legs is I'm going to make a bunch of tentacles and hoses and tubes and wires and whatnot. That's probably more what they are, tubes and wires. But I'm going to be using the tentacle maker from Green Stuff Industries to basically just have them drape down from the body, and then that's going to be that. And so I wouldn't think that something like that would move very fast. So I figured instead of them kind of sluggishly moving or whatever, they can teleport, because that's what interceptors do. So these guys, obviously, they go through the battlefield and pick it clean of anything. And I would assume that these guys, see, this guy has 2 falchions, I think is what they're called. The Terminator symbol, I don't quite know what it's called, like a Crux Terminatus or something like that. Interceptor backpack. They get like first pick, I would assume. I mean, as they're picking up shit, they're going, oh, hey, we can kind of use this, or hey, this would be really nice, or hey, give it to Bob. You know, I mean, whatever goes through their minds. But that would be what they would decide to do. So, like this guy, he has little Stormbolter, wrist-mounted Stormbolters on backwards. And that's just kind of one of those things that you're like, okay, well, hey, I picked it up and I'm going to use it, and it doesn't really matter how it is. So, actually, that was a mistake on my part, but that's just kind of the story I'm going with, so, yeah. And these guys, as they're going through the field, they kind of sluggishly move, they walk along, but they also teleport when they need to go great distances, and kind of do their thing. And that's kind of what this unit's all about, is, you know, my chaos... Okay, totally just messed up my camera, so that's why You guys probably won't notice it. I couldn't remember where I was at. But anyways, so sorry about that. So my Chaos Army would have these guys in it. I would figure that instead of using the servitors, they would use something different, like that servitor type of unit. But my army would be more or less scavengers of different stuff. That's why they have a lot of chaos bits on them, a lot of chaos armor plating, because that's what they fight. I would imagine my army would be more or less on the fringes of Imperial space, fighting against the chaos that they are said to be by the other Marine chapters. And so they figured, well, screw it, there's nothing wrong with the armor. If we cleanse it, we clean it, we do our spells, we say our prayers, we do whatever it is that they do, there should be nothing there tainting the armor, and then they can use it. So to them, as scavengers, because they can't produce their own power armor, as everybody knows, it doesn't make any sense to take it and destroy it like the Space Marines might do. So these guys are kind of patchwork. I mean, obviously, a surveyor, servitor, whatever they're called, isn't going to be awarded the Terminator honor, the Crux Terminatus or whatever it may be, nor are they going to be allotted power weapons. So I figure that these guys, as they're going along the field, they're scavenging, they're repairing their plating, they run into units that aren't quite dead, that they still have to fight and finish off and whatnot, and they've just kind of picked the best weapons that they can get their hands on. The guys with the chain swords, you could say, well, they're newer or whatever. They haven't had the chance to pick up those equipment. I think there's only like 3 of them that have chain swords, but so they all kind of have better equipment. And that's just kind of how I would envision a unit like this being. I mean, these guys are the cleanup crew, and it would really, really suck to have people behind your lines that are still fight capable. So that's what the chapter master, chapter council, whatever the hell my chapter would have, would be like, okay, so you guys are the ones clearing this field. You guys are going to run into some threats, so you get first pick on this equipment, and unless we need it, you guys can pretty much have it. So my understanding of a Space Marine Army is that a Space Marine Army would have hundreds of these things, and they're not really in chapter organization because they don't really count. They're not really fighting units as to where mine are. You're not going to see them on the front lines, but they do have some kind of combat sensibility to them. So, I mean, my army wouldn't have nearly as many as a normal Space Marine chapter, but I would have enough to kind of keep it going. I was going to throw like some orc bits and stuff like that in there. I thought that would be kind of neat, and maybe some Tau. I started thinking about it, and I have a lot of Space Marine bits. A lot of Grey Knight bits, a lot of Space Marine bits, so I figured, well, I might as well just use them. Bits that I'm never going to use, like the Terminator Honor. Over here, there's a bunch of little shields and pads and stuff like that you find on the Terminator kits. I had some Terminator arms, or Terminator Stormbolter arms, with the box mags, so I cut them off and stuck them on the bolters. These are just little hands. Grey Knight Stormbolters. New kits. These are the new bolters with the hands already attached, and then a couple of servo skulls and some scopes. Extra falchions in case I so to decide. So they're not obviously going to look like that with tentacles added to them. I think what I'll do is, if I can grab one, focus. Okay, cool. Is I cut the vents off because I'm going to have 4 hoses coming out, 2 on each side, and I wanted to have like mechanical grabbers. I actually wanted to cut off the vents up here, but where I forgot my clippers. I was at a friend's house, didn't have my clippers. All I had was an X-Acto blade, so I cut those off because, well, 1, it was safer, and 2, you got to work with what you got. So I'm going to have 4 hoses that are going to be coming out, and I figured some of them I'm going to put the hands on. So he might have that little open hand. You really can't see it. Sorry, guys. Like I always say, I'm on a cell phone, but anyways, that's an open hand. He'll have that on there, or this guy will have his little bolter hand on there, but it's still going to function the same. And the idea is that as they're running through, they pick up the bolt or whatever and replace the organic stuff in the hand with mechanical parts, and there you go. I couldn't find any like clamps. Like I wanted little like 2-prong clamps. They just kind of do that. I mean, I'm sure if anybody who's seen like old-fashioned sci-fi robot movies, you know what the hands look like. They're just kind of like little beep beep, you know, and that's all they do. And I was looking for something like that, but couldn't find them. So it's just going to be a lot of hoses with open endings. Some of them will have hands on them. Others will just be wrapped around. I mean, these guys are like scrap work type dudes. But that's what I'm working on now. I measured it out so that these guys will stand approximately the same size of a Space Marine, which will be kind of cool. And then what I'll probably do is build up a display board and have like a watchtower, not the Orc watchtower from Mechanical Warhorse, but I'll have to make something, or I might just get another watchtower from that guy and do it all chaosy, and then just do a real small little display board for painting competitions and whatnot. I might try some wet blending on the swords. Definitely going to do a little bit of layering, which in another video you guys will see that what I did on the Blood Angel. And yeah, so far, I mean, that's kind of the plan on these guys. Something a little different, but I needed a break from building lists that are illegal, or building units that are illegal, I guess. And I mean, like I said, I mean, I have so many bodies, so many Space Marine bodies, and shoulder pads, and arms, and chain swords, and bolt pistols, and blah 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 blah. I'm just, I mean, I needed to clear something out. I mean, I had the bits, so I said, screw it, I might as well do it. And yeah, so that's about it with these guys. So let me know what you guys think when you watch this. Don't be shy. My YouTube channel obviously is very small. You know, any feedback that you guys throw at me is going to be fantastic. I'll try to answer back. I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't be able to. I know YouTube used to be able to send private messages. I don't know if that still works anymore. But I mean, leave comments, you know, like, subscribe. I mean, let me know what you guys think. I mean, I'm down for different ideas and constructive criticism. I mean, whatever. So yeah, guys. Anyways, that's kind of that. The only thing that I really should have done more was, instead of giving them all bolters and bolt pistols, I should have given them like different weapons. But I actually use those other weapons, so I'm like, well, I don't really want to get rid of them. That guy's got like I think it's called an Infernus pistol from the Blood Angels. And that's really about it. I cut off his horns. That's actually the Chaos Aspiring Champion head. And this guy over here, I ripped his horns off. I just kind of bent them, and however they broke, they broke. So anyways, guys, like I said, let me know. And until the next video, see ya.